You are listening to the Interview Podcast,
where we interview the real you.
We discover our guests' passions, skills, dreams, and wisdom they've learned along the way.
Get ready for some friendly banter,
Controversial hot takes.
Christian pickup lines, and riveting conversations.
Let's dive in. Hey guys, I hope you are doing well. Hope your summer has been absolutely fantastic. Blistering, not with heat, but in joy and fun and all the good stuff there. I'm a big fall guy, so I'm not diehard for summer, but the heat is nice because it makes you appreciate fall more, So anyway, I hope you've been doing well. Hey, just want to right off the bat say thank you for y'all's patience, just hanging in there, hanging tough. We've been hanging on by a thread here at the Interview Podcast, but we're here to right the ship a little bit, and I just want to apologize for my own tardiness, as they say back in the day. A tardy slip for Derek over here. Yes, it's been different with Jen being gone, not living here anymore, but it's been on me to get the episodes together and crank them out. So my apologies for not doing that like we had previously stated that we would about every 3 weeks or so. It has been a while since we released one, but we're getting back on the horse. We're getting back on the saddle. We're not at a gallop yet, but we're back on the saddle. We're walking, cantering maybe. Then we'll see what we got from there. So anyway, I'm just going to put out a few of these shorter ones here for the next little bit of just different subjects, different things that I've been thinking about and having conversations with people and stuff like that. Few little quick hitters here and there. And then Lord willing, I'm working on some guests and some topics for future stuff there. So anyway, that's what we got kind of for the future there. Thanks so much for your support. Just had more people recently saying how much they enjoy it. And children, men, women, children of all ages, it's wild out there. The people that listen, but it's such a blessing, and people have been asking when we're doing episodes again, so we're getting back into it as we can here. Still enjoy doing them, just fitting them in amongst the schedule has its challenges, but that's okay. We all just make time for what's important. That's the long and the short of it. There's no excuses. Don't tell me you don't have time. It's just we're not making it a priority, and that's in a lot of things in life. It's easy to say, oh, I don't have time. But no, you do. It's just a matter of it being enough priority, and just being able to look that in the face and be like, I'm actually just not making this priority. I can make time if it's truly important. So anyway, didn't really plan on talking about that, but yeah, that's just a reality that has hit me a lot in the face in all of life when I say I'm too busy or I don't make time for certain things that I know are important, if it's eating healthy or if it's working out or if it's more time in the Word and stuff like that. I'm like, no, Derek, you have time. Because I can name you things right now that I just spend time on that I wouldn't need to versus the other things. Oh, anyway, may God give us all wisdom how to do that and truly prioritize and just kind of stare that in the face, be like, you know what, I'm not making this priority. I need to do better, and I need to So anyway, all right, guys. So just want to talk a little bit about friendships today. It's been something that I've been thinking about quite a bit, and just different conversations I've had. So friendships, what makes someone a great friend? Or what makes you who you have close relationships with people? What defines a close relationship? I think there can be multiple factors to that, but the thing that comes to mind, and I look at the relationships that I have and different people have, and it's one where it's a two-way street, big time, where both of you are both pursuing each other and both looking to learn about each other's lives, know what's going on, really just seeking the other person and what's their thought process with this, what are they going through, and it's not really me focused, if that makes sense. Because you picture the relationships that you have in your life. Is it just you talking all the time, or is it both of you, or is it just them talking all the time? Honestly, that doesn't sound like much fun. Either way. And granted, all of us like to talk about ourselves. I'm guilty as charged. We've all been there. But I look at some of the closest friendships I have, and I've seen different friendships with other people. And you know what? It's like both of you are trying to both serve each other and learn as much about each other as possible. And granted, I'm even just talking guy to guy, girl to girl. I'm not talking even in a romantic sense at all there. But I thought it was interesting as I was thinking a lot about that. And so I even the thing came to mind, in a marriage, the whole concept of serving each other first, and then your own needs get met, rather than like making sure your needs get met first and then serving the other person. So yeah, I've just seen that so much in life, how big of a key that is serving the other person first and taking interest in their lives and what they're thinking about, what are they passionate about, and asking questions and even asking follow-up questions to them. And yeah, if you really want to be liked by a lot of people, if you want people to call you a great friend or a great conversationalist, literally just ask them a bunch of questions, really listen, and ask follow-up questions to dig deeper on some things. And they will say that it was probably one of the best conversations that they had, and they did most of the talking. So anyway, that is something that I've just seen throughout life, and I've been trying to learn and grow in. And we've done a lot of traveling and different things like that. And I've just found it so fun to kind of be able to invest in people, and then it returns to you. It returns to you. So how about this? Let's just take a little bit of an inventory as you're driving, sitting, whatever you're doing. Look at the friendships in your life, and just take an inventory of, hey, do I do the majority of the talking in my friendships? Or do I do the majority of the listening in my friendships? I think great friendships have an element of both, where, you can call up a friend and you can do the majority of the talking and they can just listen and you'll feel very heard. But then it'll be vice versa, where they'll call you, they'll do the majority of the talking and you'll just listen and it'll be great. There are definitely those times for sure. But I think a lot of times in just regular conversation, if I'm the one that's mainly talking the whole time, or that tends to be the dominating theme, and I'm not asking questions to my friends or their opinions or whatever, and I'm just kind of keeping it on myself and my journey and how my story relates to everything that's being said, honestly, that can get kind of old when you're in a conversation and you keep asking questions and learning about their lives, but literally nothing is like followed up or nothing's directed back towards you. That gets pretty old, and honestly, it doesn't feel very life-giving often. So I have someone that I know, and he was telling me that he was hanging out with some even his family. He was hanging out with some of his family, and for an hour he's sitting there, and he's just asking them questions and just seeing about their lives, and asking them how things are going. And he said, like, not once throughout that whole conversation was something directed back at him. Of like, hey, how are things going with what you're working on? And yeah, he's doing some great stuff, and yeah, I'm really proud of who he is and stuff like that. And he's doing a lot of stuff that he'd want to share with them, but they just didn't ask. And stuff that he'd want to share, want to say, but he's also not going to like just force it. So I was like, wow, that's kind of a bummer. That's kind of a bummer. And here's the thing. I'm sure none of them have bad intentions or are trying to, do anything to hurt him or make him feel like less than or that he's not valued. But when you don't reciprocate anything, when you don't return the question or whatever to people, and you really just like answer the question and then don't ask anything back or just kind of let it sit till they ask you another question, that can get kind of old. And it's pretty selfish too. If we're all being honest, if we're all just in it for what we can say and what our thoughts are and not following it up with anything about the other person, that tends to be on the little bit more selfish side. And I don't think any of us have malice in our hearts with that, but it's just something that's kind of by default as human nature. It's kind of easy to do. So anyway, take inventory of some of your friendships and what's going on, and just be like, God, show me here. Is there areas where I need to improve on this? Do I need to change my philosophy? Do I need to really focus on listening more and asking questions and versus always being the one to talk or give my opinion? So anyway, just sit in that a little bit. See if God reveals anything to you. If he does, great. If he doesn't, fantastic. Keep it up, champ. Keep rolling. You're doing great. You're doing so good. And I found too that if someone asks you a good question, there's a good chance that they have a great answer to that same question that they asked you, or they want to be asked that question back. Most likely. I would say you got a pretty like a 90% at bat rate, a 90% hit rate with that one. Pretty sure that they're going to have thought about it before, or they really like the question or like asking it or like being asked it. So just hang on to that. If someone asks you a really good question, take an opportunity at some point then to answer or ask them back. That would be a real key. And like I said, you don't need to be the kind of person that just always is asking questions, never talking about yourself. It doesn't need to be an interrogation. You're not part of the KGB. You're not part of the FBI where you're doing all the asking questions. No, you can share stuff out of your life and keep the conversation rolling, and like that relatability that you have with people during that. That is very important. But just something to think on, take inventory of with our friendships. It's something that can be very key. And like, it's kind of like once you see it, you're kind of like, oh my, yeah, I can see where maybe that is not healthy or great, or yeah, and I think it's just, like I said, there's nothing that any of us are trying to do to intentionally hurt people most of the time, but it's just kind of the default that like when we can kind of learn and grow in that, it can really change our friendships and the dynamics with that. So anyway, that's what I got for you on this this episode for the most part here. We got 2 more segments here, guys. We got the old pickup lines, guys. I tell you what, there's some great pickup lines out there, and we're gonna hit some classics here. But I didn't want to leave you hanging because I know I'm sure a lot of you use a ton of these all the time, and you're like, Derek, the inventory is low, the tank is empty. I need more. I got you, fam. Don't worry about it. So here, I got 2 of them for you here. These have been used before, but they're just kind of classics. So here we go. So here's the first one. So, hey, I went to the fridge to get a snack and you weren't there. Odd. So odd. So a little bit more zesty on that one, but calling people snacks is probably not the most ideal move, especially in the Christian environment. But at the right place at the right time, it might hit. You never know. But if that one doesn't get her or him, if that one doesn't get it, I got another one for you. One of my personal favorites from a great friend of mine, Devin. Probably one of my favorites of all times is, hey, when I saw you, I deleted Google because I knew the search was over. Bada bing, bada boom, bam. And at that point, it's either marry me or not. Why mess around? Either get down on a knee then after that, or just, walk away. It's make or break it. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed those. Please use them where our goal is still to get a marriage, have someone connect over a pickup line and get married over this podcast. So if that's you or of someone, please, we'd love to come to the wedding. That's really what we'd love to do. So anyway, last little part here, guys, was just something that I had a conversation with a friend, and it's about parenting, and which is crazy coming from a 31-year-old that's single. But I've seen a lot in my day, and I feel like I'm kind of unbiased because I'm not a parent, and I got the bird's eye view. So, here we go. That's my philosophy. Not saying it's right, but it's the philosophy I'm choosing. So and this was actually an idea from my friend Peter Vukovic. He's like, dude, you should do a parenting segment on your podcast. I was like, Peter, how brilliant are you for 2 single people to talk about parenting? How do you think up great ideas like that? So, which actually, I feel like I have my opinions on parenting, and Jen does too. But we've probably maybe shared them here or there, but we've never had a segment. So I'm like, that'd be kind of interesting. I make observations, and I'm sure everybody does. But I know it's easy to make observations and not realize what it's like in the real world when you actually have kids. So I totally get that. But anyway, so for a little parenting segment coming at you here, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who has kids, and he was telling me about a situation that that his son was in, that he came to him with some questions, and his son's like 11. I think he's like 11 years old or something. And he was just telling him how he kind of talked through that and some things, some questions that he had. And I think this was in regards to even some things that was just mentioned at church, like even just some terms that can kind of be on the adult side, like whether it's like harlot or just some different things that are talked about, even in sermons or scripture that they had some questions about, and he came to him. But not just that in that context, but also just in the world, like kids are going to hear stuff. Kids are online. They're going to hear stuff. They're going to hear terms. And anyway, he was just telling me how his son came to him, and they had some questions. They were talking through some things. And then his son was telling him about a friend of his. It's around the same age. And this friend of his son there was like, oh, my parents either don't tell me stuff like that, or I don't feel like I can ask them that, or they just don't tell me. And I was like, oh, man. And then what he said after that, he was like, so I just like look it up online. I'll just figure it out. And I was like, ooh, that is probably most likely not a recipe for success. Yeah. So this parenting segment is about talking with your kids about stuff. Just keep the open lines of communication. And here's the thing. I feel, even talking about it right now, I feel so like unqualified or unworthy to even talk about this because I have not like lived this in any way, shape, or form. But just from seeing his perspective and what was going on, I was just it kind of hurt because I've been there where I've had questions when I was younger and different things, and my parents did a really good job with things. But there was also things that I discovered like by looking it up online and stuff that it was like, you know what, it would have been better going to my parents with this and asking them and keeping those lines of communication. So maybe just regularly check in with your kids, especially at those ages where they're learning a lot of stuff. Just checking, hey, is there things you guys have questions about? You know, is there terms you've heard, or is there things that you have questions about that we can help answer? And just keeping those lines of communication open because kids are smart. They'll figure it out. They will figure it out one way or the other. So most likely, I would say it's going to be better coming from you and talking through it with them and having an understanding of, hey, these are things that can be kind of sensitive or can be, that you'll understand more as an adult, but at least giving them some answers, some explanation versus just being like, no, you're too young. We'll talk about that later, So, but anyway, I'm not a parent. Do whatever you want. You're on it. You've got it. Just interesting tidbits and conversations that I've had with people that I'm like, you know what? That's, So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you. Love each one of you. God bless you. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Hope the rest of your summer is fantastic. Wish you all the best. Thanks again for your support and everything. Just appreciate you guys so much. So anyway, cheers for now, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.